We are, whenever you are, Your Honor.
All right, this is Kearny County District Court Case 2023 TR 429, titled State of Kansas versus Jacob Hager. It's September 12th, 2023. Mr. Gallegos, you've indicated to the court. First off, let me stop right there. Mr. Hager, you were here previously, is that correct? And at that time, the court advised you of your rights to and of a criminal defendant. Is that correct? Did you understand each and every one of those rights? At that time, you waived your right to counsel. Does that waiver still extend to today? Very well. Mr. Gallegos, you've indicated that you've come to an agreement.
Yes, Your Honor. I was able to meet with Mr. Hager this morning. He will be pleading to count one. Attempting is the enforcement officer. Day underlying on each charge. Probation with court services. Court cost of 108.
All right. For my notes, you advised a 30-day underlying jail sentence for each count consecutive to for a total of up to 60 days to be served, or are you suspending them?
Suspended.
Mr. Hager, did you hear what the county attorney advised the court? Okay, you heard what he told me. Is that the agreement that you reached with him? Is there anything that is in error or you dispute, or is that exactly how you agreed? Very well. Is it your desire to proceed today? Are you under the influence of any medication or any other substance that would render you making sound decisions today? Is there anyone forcing you to enter into an agreement with the Kearny County Attorney's Office on this matter? Your desire, and do you think there's benefit to you to enter into this agreement? Very well. Then I am going to ask a couple of questions. First off, I find that you are knowingly and willingly entering into this agreement, and I'm going to ask a couple of questions here. In regard to count one, fleeing or attempting to elude. Well, let me back up and address Mr. Gallegos. What level is your fleeing attempting to elude that we're pleading to? I'm showing this as a level 9 person felony on the court's docket, even though it's not charged on a complaint.
No, it's a C on mine.
A C misdemeanor?
Yeah.
Okay. And the B misdemeanor for the reckless?
I believe reckless is a class C.
You are correct, sir. Both are class C. You can look it up, but I'm comfortable that that's what we have. So I'll go ahead, Mr. Gallegos. So Mr. Hager, in regards to count one, fleeing or attempting to elude a law enforcement officer in violation of KSA 8-1568, a class C misdemeanor, how do you wish to plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? I guess here's my question unto Mr. Gallegos. You stated you had an agreement. What was your agreement that
It was
the,
that he'd be pleading guilty, Your Honor.
do you need some time to discuss the agreement with Mr. Hager, or would you like me to just ask? The agreement as outlined by Mr. Gallegos is that you would be pleading guilty to the two charges. Is that still your desire to go through with that? Okay, then as to count one, the fleeing or attempting to elude, how do you plead guilty, not guilty, or no contest? Very well. And as to count four, reckless driving, also a Class C misdemeanor in violation of KSA 8-1566. How do you wish to plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? Very well. And then upon my acceptance, which I haven't done yet, I need to go over something with you. I will dismiss the remaining counts. First off, before I can accept your pleas, Mr. Hager, I'm going to ask you a couple of questions. On or about August the 8th of 2023, were you riding a Honda motorcycle in Kearny County, Kansas? Did you see or have contact with a Kearny County Sheriff's deputy? That deputy attempt to pull you over? And did you in fact pull over for the deputy? All right. Did you in fact then attempt to flee from the deputy? And while doing so, were you operating said vehicle in a reckless manner? Very well. Then the court finds factual basis for both charges, finds you guilty of fleeing or attempting to elude count one, also count four, reckless driving, dismisses counts 2 and 3. Are we ready to proceed to sentencing, Mr. Gallegos?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you ready to proceed to sentencing, Mr. Earl? Then it's a sentence of this court that you be sentenced to 30 days in the custody of the Kearny County Jail for count one, which is fleeing or attempting to elude. You will also be sentenced to 30 days in the Kearny County Jail for count 4, reckless driving. Those sentences to be run concurrently for a total of up to 60 days in the Kearny County Jail.
Concurrently or consecutively? Your
I'm
Honor?
sorry, consecutively for a total of up to 60 days in the Kearny County Jail. Those jail sentences are suspended if you complete the remainder of this agreement. All right. In addition to the jail sentence, you are fined $200 for each count. That's $200 for fleeing and eluding and $200 for reckless driving, for a total of $400. You are ordered to pay $108 court costs. You are also ordered to pay a $60 probation fee. And as a result of this sentence, you will be placed on probation with 25th Judicial District Court Services Office out of Garden City. You will have the ability, upon successfully either attending or abiding by the rules of court service, to apply for an early release in 6 months. The remainder of your probation or your this agreement is that you pay your fines, court costs, and probation fees within the time that you were on probation, and you have no future law violations. And I will just caution you, while on probation, a law violation can also trigger an additional count of a probation violation. So then you would have two things you're dealing with. Do you understand that? All right. As a result of this conviction and sentence, you have certain rights. You have a right to appeal either or both the convictions or the sentence. In order to do that, you must file a written appeal with the Kearny County District Court. That appeal has to be filed within 14 days. If you do not file a written appeal within 14 days, you have waived your right to appeal. Do you understand? And the place to file that appeal, if you choose to do so, is the clerk of the court right in that office next door to us. As a result of these convictions and sentence, you have the right to seek an expungement at a future date. An expungement is a court process that allows you to petition the court to remove these convictions from your record as if they never happened. The requirements for expungement vary depending on the charge or charges to be expunged. Information on expungement can be found at the Kansas Judicial Council website. Do you understand each of these items as I've outlined for you? Do you understand your pleas, your sentence, your probation requirement, and your rights to expunge and appeal? Mr. Gallegos, is there anything else we need to cover?
Just to recap, Your Honor, court costs are 108, fine for count 1 and count 4, $200 each, probation cost of $60. Court services for 1 year, early release at 6 months if everything's done. Check in, what time, Your Honor? I usually say 48 hours, but
He has to report before 4 PM. Today is Tuesday. Let's say Thursday, that gives 48 hours roughly. For the 14th. Well, I'm filling this out. Anything further, Mr. Gallegos, on this?
not that I'm aware of, Your Honor.
All right,
Just that the state dismisses with prejudice upon the finding of guilt, counts 2 and 3, Your Honor.
so ordered. Very well. Then for the purposes of this hearing, we are adjourned. I'm going off the record. Give me about 2 minutes and I will fill out your probation sheet. And we will move to the next case. Thank you for your attendance. Need to wait and
You're
get
gonna
this
have to
from me.
wait for him he's gonna give you something. Hello, Mr. Ryan, how are you doing? You're still muted.
That was my intention.
Hey, we'll probably most likely just have to continue today. Do believe we sent the stuff for personal service to your client over in, what is it, North Dakota or South Dakota?
Right.
North Dakota. It just hasn't been served. We contacted the law enforcement there this morning. They're hoping to get
Okay.
that done.
He is in this Zoom meeting. I did get Discovery yesterday. I guess there were some technical difficulties getting that, but I do have Discovery now.
Yeah, everything's going electronic now, so if you have any issues, just let us know. We'll see what we can do.
Right.
Yeah, so, do you want to just set this out to about a month or do you want to chat with me outside of here?
Yeah, let's just push it out. I want to try, I want to convey the Discovery to my client, let him go through it and review it and so forth. So, yeah, we've got some time we need to take here.
Okay. About how long do you think you need? About 45 days?
Let's start that way. Yeah. I'm looking at the week of the 30th would be available for me.
Week of the 30th of October?
Yes. That's about 6 weeks, 45 days.
Yeah, we could go the 31st.
Halloween, how appropriate.
What time is best for you? 9 o'clock is usually our first appearance docket. The only reason we haven't done that is so.
Okay, we want to push us to the 9:30. You can take care of some stuff and then enter into the Zoom.
Let's just go for 10 o'clock just to make sure.
Okay. All right, that'll work.
What date are we looking at, Mr. Gallegos?
October 31st at 10 a.m., Your Honor.
We calling that a first still?
I'll call it a first as well, just.
Okay,
Do you waive your signature on a miscellaneous journal entry just moving the court date?
I would do, yes.
What's your bar number? I'm trying, I don't,
10-9-23.
10-9.
2-3. It's not number one, like some people are saying.
BII,
What's that, Your Honor?
BII, the Roman numeral.
Yeah.
What's our case number here?
This is case number 23 TR 404, Your Honor.
Then if all parties are in agreement, 23 TR 404 is continued to October 31, 2023 at 10 a.m. Anything further from either council?
Nothing further for me.
Agos?
No, Your Honor.
Very well. We are adjourned. Thank you for your attendance and appearance.
That's all. You can log off, Kevin. You can give me a call here later this week if you can.
And that'll give you enough time to get discovery to him and
thank you.
see what your guys'
Right.
options are.
Yep, I'll get going on that.
Um, Mr. Carrillo, would you and Ms. Chavez care to have a seat up here?
Can I approach, Your Honor?
Okay. All right, Mr. Escamilla, this will apply to you. What is your name? Who is here for court? What's your name?
On what? Maravilla?
All right. Do you want to come up here to the front row, both of you? So, or if you can hear, just make sure you can hear me. And if you need an interpreter, try to get as close to Ms. Chavez as you can. Otherwise, I will speak to you directly, okay? I'm going over what's called a statement of rights to and of criminal defendants. I'm going to do it as few times as possible since it applies to everybody left in the room. Are you ready, Ms. Chavez? All right. You have the right to a formal reading of each of the charges against you, as well as a reading of the potential consequences in the event of conviction. You have the right to a speedy and public trial. You are innocent until the state has proven your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You do not have to prove your innocence. You have the right to an attorney to represent you at every stage of the proceeding. If you cannot afford an attorney, the court may appoint one for you. If you waive your right to an attorney, you may reassert it at any time. You have the right to confront and cross-examine the witnesses of the state. You may also present witnesses of your own and compel their attendance if necessary. You have the right to remain silent. With the power to decline or refuse to make any verbal or written statement to the prosecution. You have the right to testify, but only if you choose to do so. I'm reading from a section called Special Considerations for Non-Citizens. And this may apply to some of you or none of you. Conviction of a crime can adversely affect the immigration status of any individual who is not an American citizen. This applies to all convictions, including most traffic offenses. Receiving a diversion can constitute a conviction for immigration purposes. Adverse effects to your immigration status may be significant. These include the potential revocation of your immigration status and/or the ordering of your deportation. Because of the potentially severe consequences resulting from a conviction, you are entitled to the opportunity to discuss the potential impacts of conviction with an immigration attorney. You already covered that part? Thank you. Okay. Wishing to discuss the potential consequences of a conviction with an immigration attorney does not constitute an exercise of your right to counsel. You are not entitled to the appointment of an attorney solely to address potential immigration issues. Do you understand each of these rights as I've read them? And any questions about any of them? Very well. Get to Mr. Carrillo. You are here today on a 2-count complaint filed by the Kearny County Sheriff's Office alleging a violation of no proof of insurance in violation of KSA 40-3104. A Class B non-person misdemeanor. Upon conviction, punishable by a fine of not more than $1,000. And a potential jail sentence of not more than 6 months in the Kearny County Jail. You have a second count of speeding. in violation of 8-1558. That is a traffic infraction, punishable by a fine and court costs. And I already asked you this, but you did understand your rights today, correct? I'm going to be specific to your right to an attorney on this question. How do you wish to proceed today? Wish to hire an attorney of your choosing? Do you wish to waive your right to an attorney and speak with Mr. Gallegos directly? Or do you request the court appoint you an attorney? Very well. If you waive your right to an attorney today, are you doing it knowingly and willingly? Okay. All I can ask is about, is he wishing to, is he knowingly and waiving his right to an attorney to speak with Mr. Gallegos? Okay. And does he understand that he always has the right to change his mind and request an attorney later? Okay, so he understands. Mr. Gallegos, I have a knowing waiver of an attorney. Do you wish to inquire today, or do you want to set this for a future date? Very well. You may, thank you. They're pausing the record for consultation. Yes.
State's gonna be dismissing the no proof of insurance. He didn't have valid insurance at the time. I did inform him that he has to have that proof in his vehicle at all times. And in exchange, he's gonna be pleading guilty to the speeding, the one and only count of speeding. He asked for 90 days to pay, and I first on that.
Very well.
I think the only thing I need to do is just dismiss count.
Are you making an oral motion to dismiss count one? Very well. Count one is dismissed per the county attorney's request. And if you will check in with the clerk's office regarding count two, the speeding. And arrange for the 90 days to pay. You understand that, sir? Do you have any questions of the court? Mr. Gagos, do you have anything further?
No, Your Honor.
Very well, then we are adjourned as to this matter. Thank you for your attendance. He will check in with the clerk's office. They can tell him how to go about paying. Very well, we are adjourned. Thank you for your attendance. Mr. Escamilla, I believe I saw you first. If you want to come have a seat up here. And do you need an interpreter? All right. Thank you, Ms.
Yeah,
Chavez.
Your Honor.
You may. All right, let me get caught up here. Mr. Escamilla, we are on the record in Kearny County District Court Case 2023 CR 7. Mr. Gallegos is here for the state of Kansas, and you were here personally. I'm going to ask you regarding the rights that I read to the group. Did you hear each and every one of them? Are there any of them that you would like me to go over or that you didn't understand? Very well. What I'm going to do is go over the reason you are here. You have been charged with a one-count complaint alleging felony theft in violation of KSA 21-5801, paragraph A1 and paragraph B7. This is a severity level 9 non-person felony. The penalty range for a level 9 felony, and this is dependent upon criminal history. The penalty range is from a minimum of 5 months to a maximum of 17 months in the Kansas Department of Corrections, a fine of up to $100,000 and up to 12 months of post-release supervision. I said first, this is dependent upon criminal history. That is what sentence could be rendered upon a conviction. That doesn't mean necessarily if your criminal history is such, you may not be sentenced to the Department of Corrections. There could be some supervision instead. I don't know your criminal history, so this is a generic just across the board. Do you understand what the potential penalties are? For today's hearing, I need to ask you a question. You have the option of being represented by counsel. How do you wish to proceed today? Your first option is hire an attorney of your choosing. If you tell the court you want to hire your own attorney, I will set this for a future date to give you the opportunity to get an attorney hired and make an appearance for you. The second option is you can request court-appointed counsel. If you choose this option, you must fill out an application for court-appointed services with a financial affidavit, and you must meet certain financial guidelines in order to be appointed an attorney. The third option is you may waive your right to an attorney and attempt to speak with Mr. Gallegos about this case to see if you can resolve it on your own. You always have the right to change your mind no matter what option you make. So just out of curiosity, how do you wish to proceed today? All right. Is anyone forcing you to do so? This is what I'm going to tell you. I will accept your waiver. This is a felony matter. I want you to understand that you always have the right to change your mind. And on a felony matter, you just say the word and we'll revert back to the other two options. Okay? Mr. Gallegos, do you wish to inquire? All right, we will go off the record. One more time, I'm reiterating, if you change your mind and want an attorney for a felony matter, you just advise me. All right? We are in recess. All right, and did you tell me your name was Mr. Maravilla? Why don't you come up to the front bench here? Don't come all the way up, but I just want to, maybe we can streamline this and get you out of here quicker. I am going to go over with you what you're charged while they're busy so that we can streamline when you get up here to the, yes. Okay, then. How old are you, sir? Okay. Let me catch up my notes. All right. Mr. Maravilla, did you hear me advise you of your rights? Did you understand each of your rights? You are here on a 2-count complaint by the Kansas Highway Patrol. The first count is driving while license suspended, canceled, or revoked. That is in violation of KSA 8-262. That is a Class C non-person misdemeanor. Class C, Charles. Punishable by a fine of not more than $500 and a possible jail sentence of not more than 30 days in the Kearny County Jail. You have a second charge of speeding. That is an infraction. Upon conviction, it is punishable by fine and court costs. Even though you're 17 years of age, in Kansas for traffic violations, you are considered an adult. When we get done with Mr. Escamilla's case, well, first off, do you understand each of these charges and the potential penalties? When Mr. Escamilla is done, I'm going to ask you questions regarding an attorney, and your options are hire one of your choosing, request court appointed, or waive your right to an attorney to speak with Mr. Gallegos about these charges. I don't know who that is. Clint Floyd? Possibly. Is Mr. Floyd court appointed in Syracuse? Okay. That is a possibility. So, is that your wish, is to request court appointed counsel? Do you wish to request court appointed counsel? Okay. I will take that into consideration. I can't say yes or no until I have Mr. Gallegos here, but that's likely that how we'll do it. Okay. When Mr. Gallegos gets back and we finish with Mr. Escamilla, we will formalize this and then you can be on your way. Thank you, sir. And sir, in the front row, are you here for an appearance today? What is your name? Well, I will show that you are here. Actually, I show you as a 1015. Okay, so do you have an attorney or is it just you today? Okay, well, then we'll deal with that when we get done with these others. We won't have to wait till 10:15 if we get these others done. If that's okay with you, we can always start early. Unless you had an attorney that was going to appear at 10:15, but that doesn't appear to be the case, so. Sir, what's your name? Okay. I thought I recognized you, so I've got you as present and we will get to you as soon as we're done with these other two 9 o'clocks. back on the record in 2023 CR7. Mr. Gallegos, go ahead, please.
Speaking with Mr. Escamilla, I believe we've come to an agreement in which he's going to be pleading guilty to count one. The theft. Two counts or just one count, Your Honor? The only count of theft. He'll be waiving his right to preliminary hearing. And proceeding to sentencing, Your Honor.
All right. Okay, Mr. Escamilla, now, Mr. Gallegos, I'm going to address this to you. Is this count one as charged?
As
As a
charged, Your
level
Honor.
9 felony?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Escamilla, we are on the record and this is a felony matter.
From earlier.
Okay. All right, Mr. Escamilla, I'm going to go over a couple of things as we move forward, and it's going to sound like I'm asking the same questions again and again. And I really kind of am, because I just want, for the record of the court, to know that you are, know what you're doing and this is what you want to do. Okay. All right. So you have appeared in Kearny County District Court Case 2023 CR 7. The court advised you of your rights as a criminal defendant, including your right to trial and to be represented and those things. Is that correct? And you previously waived your right to an attorney. Is that correct? Okay. And the court did knowingly find that waiver and offered you the opportunity to change your mind if you chose. All right. So Mr. Gallegos has told the court that you two have reached an agreement. Is that correct? All right. The first thing I want to ask you is, are you under the influence of any prescription medication, any other chemical substance that would make you unable to render good decisions today? Okay. Is there anything else going on in your life that would make you, unable to make good decisions today? Very well. The county attorney has indicated during the recitation of the agreement that you're willing to waive your right to a prelim. What I'm going to do before I entertain that is tell you what a preliminary hearing is. Because this is a felony case, you have the right to a preliminary hearing. A preliminary hearing is a hearing set solely to hear evidence and make the Kearny County attorney prove that a felony crime has been committed in Kearny County, Kansas, and that you are the person who committed that crime. His burden of proof is probable cause and probable cause only. At a preliminary hearing, you'd have a chance to confront the witnesses the state calls. You could call witnesses in your own defense, and you would have the right to be represented by counsel during that preliminary hearing. Do you understand that? You understand that if you waive your right to a preliminary hearing, that it's a right that's difficult to get back. During a preliminary hearing, if you had witnesses that you wanted to present, you could ask the court to issue subpoenas and compel their attendance. Do you understand that? At a preliminary hearing, you would have the right to testify in your own defense, but only if you desire. Do you understand that? Okay. And again, the state would have to carry the burden of proof, which is probable cause. And if the state could not reach that burden, then the charges would be dismissed. Do you understand that? Okay. Have you been forced, coerced, threatened, or otherwise in any way made to give up your right to a preliminary hearing? Still wish to waive your right to a preliminary hearing even after I've told you these things? Very well, then the court finds that you have knowingly and voluntarily waived your right to a preliminary hearing. And we are going to proceed to arraignment. Yes, did you have something, Mr. Gagos?
Already need to be done, but he.
When you tell the court that, are you, because he is pro se, is that the reason? So what you're telling the court is, Mr. Escamilla, here's what the county attorney and I are discussing. I seem to have asked you several times about your right to an attorney. And I accepted your waiver, and if you could tell, it was with some hesitancy because this is a felony crime. And so oftentimes, and I can't talk you into or out of doing anything, but most times for a felony, because the stakes are higher than in a misdemeanor, counsel is usually present. And I think Mr. Gallegos is now entertaining some thoughts. So Mr. Gallegos, what is your thought on the matter?
The only thing I can foresee after a firearm, there's a special. Is that right? But it would still require him to file a.
Very well. I know where you're going, and this is probably where we should have gone in the first place. Mr. Escamilla, you have the right to waive your to an attorney. And I'm going to tell you right now, I like to give people the chance to exercise their rights as they wish. Here's what I'm going to do. I am going to appoint an attorney to represent you in order for you to discuss the deal that you and Mr. Gallegos made. Then if you and your attorney decide that this is still in your best interest, then you can approach Mr. Gallegos about seeing if the deal is still available. And if your attorney advises you to maybe make other options, then we will at least cover your rights and protected you from doing something that, you know, we all are wondering now if it would be the right thing to do. Do you understand? So I hear what you're saying. I don't discredit it, but I want you to talk to somebody else. Okay.
Or I just want to put on the record that I'm okay with what he's doing and I'll. Counsel, it's just whenever a person.
Let me take the heat off you. I would be more comfortable as the court sending this to Judge Furrow for a felony or sentencing to know that Mr. Escamilla's rights were protected at these.
Go off the record briefly.
Go off the record for a few minutes.
This isn't a person felony,
Non-person.
non-person, so I just, when I glanced down. Either way, we're already down that rabbit hole. We should just.
I'm not backing. I'm going to go ahead and continue through the rabbit hole.
I just wanted.
Yes.
I just wanted to make sure I was correct in what I was reading
Okay.
and when I initially glanced down and read, I was like. The person felony committed with a firearm and this is no person.
Okay.
So I didn't see that part. I just started reading the. and it was where there was a presumed imprisonment, and I was like, okay. But that's not the case. It's not the case anymore. I just read through that. I was just trying to make sure, just because of the firearm issue, I was correct. And my agreement still remains the same. However, since we're,
Ready to go back on the record and we'll. Kearny.
yep,
All right, we are back on the record. Mr. Escamilla, I am going to appoint Shane Ludke from Garden City to represent you in this matter.
Your Honor,
Yes.
I don't think we can appoint Shane Ludke.
For a felon.
First, by the state contract, we'd have to go conflicts. Last time I talked to Mr. Shane Ludke, he's
I was in error when I brought up Mr. Ludke. I'm just going down the list of the ones we usually appoint. So I'm going to switch gears, Mr. Escamilla. I'm going to appoint Steve Cott to represent you in this matter. I have his contact information here. It's got a phone number. I will tell you, he will not know about your appointment for a few days until the paperwork gets through the system. So we need to look for a future date. And Mr. Gallegos, do you know what date he might be here? And we're going to be looking into October or November.
I just sent him a message, Your Honor. And
Are we able to just set a date and then let Mr. Cott petition the court if he needs to change it?
yeah,
Set this for October the 5th. And then, as usual, if Mr. Cott needs to make a change, then he knows how to do so.
Thursday, you want to set it?
Everything we have is in the afternoon that day. We have 5 so far. $1:30.
Let's just do 1:45, just oh yeah, let's do 1:30 and we have to start later.
Hour for other things. All right, Mr. Escamilla, as I said before, I have appointed Steve Cott to represent you in this matter. I've set your next appearance for October the 5th at 1:30 p.m. come and get this sheet. Mr. Escamilla, that is your attorney's information. Do you have any questions of the court regarding your attorney? Again, give him a few days to get the paperwork, so you can go ahead and return. Mr. Gagos, do you have anything further? Very well. Any other questions, Mr. Escamilla? Then we are adjourned until October the 5th, 2023 at 1:30 PM. Thank you for your attendance.
Yeah.
Back to today's date. Folks, so who are you here for? Okay. Mr. Sanchez going to be here. We're jumping the gun a little bit. I'll get to you just in a moment, Mr. Marvillo, and I'll tell Mr. Gagos what we've come up with. So what are we doing today?
I let Mr. Gallegos know my client scheduled I'm just asking if we could continue this.
Okay. Well, before I ask you, Mr. Gagos, at the last time we were here, just to bring up to speed, this has been going on since August 30th of 2022, and this is the 9th appearance. Last time I discussed probably time to set this for a pretrial and a trial if we didn't have it resolved by today. So Mr. Gallegos, you heard what Mr. Coxel told the court. What is your thought?
I say we'll set a pretrial after that date, and if certain things aren't done, or if he's not on by that date and we haven't sent yet, then one trial date and just get that done.
What is his date to get into the classes or program? On the 21st, we are setting something for the 31st of October. Are we needing to set this for a pretrial, or are we just going to set it for a trial, Mr. Gay?
I say we set it for a pretrial and then set it for maybe be a 1-day trial, don't you think?
Yeah.
Or I don't think it'd take that long to,
How long after the pretrial? A couple of weeks or a week?
we'll just set the trial for December, just to make sure we. Or that's if they're wanting a jury trial. Get everything else done, then we probably won't even have a trial, but I just don't want this to be lingering.
So like I said, it's extending over a year now. So with the date of October the 9th as the tentative evaluation or date, are we okay with setting a pretrial for October 31st? That should maybe tell us if we're going to trial. We have nothing except what we just scheduled.
At 10:30, 11:30.
10:30 will work for the pretrial with a potential trial date of, or do we do we need to set that before we should probably set the pretrial and the trial date at the same time.
Want to just shoot for October, I'm not October.
into November now.
I say we go to December just so we can get a, if it is gonna be a jury trial, we have enough.
I'm looking at the week of December 11th, 12th, 13th, and 14th.
It's just if it's Oaksel's calendar, shoot for either the 14th and 15th or 21st and 22nd, just in case.
And it's a permanency hearing in the morning. That ends, so December the 14th, beginning at 10 a.m. Work. That gives us the remainder of the day. And remember, the holiday season starts late November. So if we have to have a jury in December, you gentlemen can incur the wrath. I'll take my fair share, but. All right. So we will set pretrial. We are continued for a pretrial on October 31st, 2023 at 10:30 a.m. And with a trial, if needed, December 14th, 2023 at 10 a.m. Concur?
2023 at 10 a.m. you said on trial date? Or 9?
December 14th, 2023 at 10 a.m. We have a permanency at 9. It's already on the. Coxel, do you have anything further on this matter? Gagos, anything further?
Yeah, no, that's fine. If we need to move the actual trial date because of that 9 a.m., can do so on October 31st.
Well, the goal is to not need either, but that's fine. So,
Hopeful Mr. Sanchez.
all right, very well. And we are adjourned until October 31st, 2023 at 10:30 a.m. Thank you for your appearance.
Thanks.
Maravilla, if you'll come up front here. Mom, you're welcome to come, or you can
Oh,
stay there.
Scott, can you waive your signature just? Or, yeah. All right, I'll get journal entry in. Thanks. Like to put my notes, Your Honor. Or if you want to just start with him with his. Did,
They're ahead of you.
so I'm behind.
Um, This is short and sweet.
I don't think if they ask for a jury trial, I don't know if we'd be able to get jury.
All right, that's fine. I just want to get something on the calendar because this one is like a carrot on a stick and you never.
Yeah.
I will kind of speak while you're typing
Go for it,
because
Your Honor.
while you were busy with Mr. Escamilla, I spoke with Mr. Maravilla. He's 17 years old. His mother appears. He's been advised of his rights. He acknowledged his understanding. Mr. Maravilla was advised of the charges against him in this case. And he has a court-appointed counsel in a case in Hamilton County, and he requested court-appointed counsel. I am willing to appoint Clint Floyd so that both attorneys, both cases are consolidated. We just need a date. At October 17th. I don't really see them here. I just know what date the court has. I see him here at 11 on that date.
Everything at 11:30.
11:30, very well. Maravilla, would you come forward here? Probably already have this. That is your attorney's information. He will not know about your case for a couple of days. About this case? Okay, then give him a couple days call. He'll get what he needs from Mr. Gallegos. And I have set your next appearance for October the 17th at 11:30 a.m. Okay? Do you have any questions of the court? Gallegos, do you have anything further on this matter?
No, Your Honor.
Very well. We are adjourned as to this case. Thank you, sir. You're free to go. Thank you. Rosales, you're at 10 o'clock. Come up front, please. Ready, Mr. Gallegos. Miramonte, did you say that you were going to ask for an attorney? Filled out court-appointed paperwork yet?
Gave him that stuff last time he was here, Your Honor.
Is that correct? Okay, then you got the attorney, the stuff to fill out. Have that ready when that'll speed us up when we're done with Mr. Rosales.
Who's this, Rosales?
Yes, and this is 2023 TR 279. Our last hearing was the 8th of October, or I'm sorry, 8th of August. And at that time, I believe, Mr. Rosales, you said you had a driver's license and Mr. Gallegos was needing time to verify. Where are we at on this, Mr. Gallegos?
New laptop and fine. And we'll just get another court date, Your Honor.
October 17th.
Put 9 a.m. or 9:30.
9:30. And at that time, we believe this case will be resolved. Is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor. It should
All
be
right.
done before that. If he
Okay.
pays that before that.
Mr. Rosales, I'm going to reschedule this. We'll call it a case management conference for October 17th, 2023 at 9:30. If you have not taken care of the obligation you and Mr. Gagos have agreed upon by that date, you need to appear in court. If you have taken care of it, then you will not need to appear. It's your responsibility to know that it's taken care of. Do you understand that? That would be you've taken care of your responsibility. Just make sure that you've got a receipt or something to verify, okay? Any questions of the court? Gagos, anything further?
Oh, Your Honor.
You're adjourned as of this matter. Chavez, I think we're done with what we might need of you, so thank you for your appearance again today. Sorry? I'm sure it will. We'll make it work. Thank you.
October 17th.
I'm gonna write that down. Well. Okay, very well. I'm gonna step out for a minute and re-up my drink while Mr.
Get it done before then. Let us know. Next time, wear pants. All right. I just saw it right now. Bye. I approach, Your Honor?
Mr. Montez? You-
Why does it have him?
No. Not at the moment.
Previously had an attorney on the first case, did you?
He had one and then
Not stay in contact, I think.
I didn't show up to court and then I didn't stay in contact with them and then
Not employed right now?
I applied at a couple places already, so.
Montez, this is Kearny County District Court Case 2023 TR 279. It's September 12th, 2023. I'm sorry, that is the incorrect court date. Let me get to the correct court dates. Very well, we'll start over. Kearny County District Court Cases 2022 TR 187 and 2023 TR 84. Both of them involve no driver's license, and the 22 case also has transporting an open container of alcoholic beverage. And we are way past first appearance, way past second appearance. So you've appeared today asking the court for court-appointed counsel. Is that correct? I have received and reviewed your application. I find you indigent based on that affidavit and application, and I will appoint Shane Ludke to represent you. That is an attorney out of Garden City. I have his contact information in front of me, and I will give that to you before you leave at a future date.
call his secretary, Your Honor.
Tell him October 17th is looking good.
Abram, Shane Ludke's, October 17th on a new.
Have an 11 a.m. Alan Barraza with Mr. Floyd. I also have a 9:30. I've got 10 a.m. 10:30. A quarter hour in between. All right, Mr. Miramontes, your attorney will be notified of his appointment. He probably won't know about it for a couple of days while the paperwork goes back and forth. If you will step forward here, this is his contact information. And your court date, October 17, 2023 at 10 a.m. It is your responsibility to be here unless this case is resolved, okay? And again, I reiterate, you probably should wait a few days to reach out to Mr. Ludke so that he'll know what this case is about. Do you have any questions about today's appearance? Gagos, do you have anything further? Very well, and we are adjourned until October the 17th at 10 a.m. Thank you for your appearance. Person on the Motorola phone, tell me who you are, please.
Kelly Teal.
Kelly Thiel.
Yeah, I have my case number here.
I have it, ma'am. Give me 1 second.
Okay.
I am going to go, you have never appeared on this, have you?
No, I haven't. No, I actually was just driving through Kansas that day.
Well, let me get this opened up
Okay.
and we will get formal. This is
Okay.
District Court Case 2009 TR 475. That's 2009 TR 475 State versus Kelly Thiel. I have a 2-count complaint that we had to dig out of archives
Yeah.
to get it.
I'm sorry. I'm having a real hard time hearing you. Let me see if I can go somewhere where it's quieter.
Are you walking? Sometimes it's better to go stationary.
Okay. I'm just afraid that
All right. You are charged with a 2-count complaint by the Kansas Highway Patrol. Count 1 is driving while license canceled, suspended, or revoked in violation of KSA 8-262. That is at the time was an unclassified misdemeanor, punishable by a fine of not more than $500 and a jail sentence of not more than 30 days in the Kearny County Jail. I say not more than, those are the maximums. They are not necessarily what sentences would be imposed. You also had a speeding violation in violation of KSA 8-1558, that being an infraction. Upon conviction, an infraction is punishable by fines and court costs. So I'm going to go over with you certain things because this is your first appearance. I'm going to go relatively quickly so we can repeat.
That's fine.
You have the right to a formal reading of each of the charges against you, as well as a reading of the potential consequences in the event of conviction. I have just done so. You have the right to a speedy and public trial. You are innocent until the state has proven your guilt beyond a reasonable doubt. You do not have to prove your innocence. You have the right to have an attorney represent you at any stage of the proceeding. If you cannot afford an attorney, the court may appoint one for you. If you waive your right to an attorney, you may reassert it at any time. You have the right to confront and cross-examine the witnesses of the state. You may also present witnesses of your own and compel their attendance if necessary. You have the right to remain silent with the power to decline or refuse to make any verbal or written statement to the prosecution. You have the right to testify, but only if you choose to do so. Did you understand each of these rights?
Yes.
Very well. I have a section called Special Considerations for Non-Citizens. That being, if you're not a citizen of the United States, this may apply. Do you want me to read that or do you waive it?
Seems like as if she's
Frozen.
frozen.
Ms. Thiel? Give her a chance to recover here.
All I've been doing is trying to recover you.
Speeding violation, the
77 on a 65. I have to look up what the
are you
actual.
back, Ms. Thiel?
She's muted. You're muted. You are muted. You're muted.
Ms. Thiel, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. I'm sorry.
All right, we got through the
Right?
and then I said something about special considerations for non-citizens. Do I need to read that to you or?
No, I'm a citizen.
Very well. For today's hearing, which is a first appearance, you have three options. The first option is you may hire an attorney of your choosing. If you wish to do so, the court will give you time to make arrangements and have that attorney appear with and for you. Your second option is to request court-appointed counsel. If you choose this option, you must fill out an application for court-appointed counsel and fill out a financial affidavit to see if you qualify for court-appointed counsel. The third option is you may waive your right to an attorney for today's hearing. What that does is it gives you the opportunity to discuss this case directly with Mr. Gallegos. If you choose this option and your discussions don't go as you think they should, you always have the right to come back to the court and ask for an attorney or hire your own. Do you understand that?
Yes.
How do you wish to proceed today?
I would like to, if I can, I'd like to speak with, I'm not sure, Mr. Gallego, is that what you said his name was?
Gallegos, correct. Okay.
Okay.
What I'm going to ask you quickly is anyone, you're telling me you want to waive your right to an attorney and speak directly with
Correct.
Mr. Gallegos. Is anyone forcing you to do so?
No.
Are you doing so because you think it's in your best interest to try to work this out?
Yes.
Very well. The court finds that you have knowingly waived your right to an attorney, and I will remind you, you can always change your mind and request an attorney. Do you understand?
Okay.
Mr. Gallegos, I have a waiver, a knowing and voluntary waiver of a right to an attorney. Do you wish to inquire?
Yes, briefly.
Let me go off the record.
Yep, what I'll do is I'll just grab the.
Yes. Ms. Thiel, I'm going off the record. You'll be asked to join a breakout room. That will be just you and Mr. Gallegos. It will be a private conversation.
Okay. How do I? Oh, God. Will it direct me through that? Because I've never done Zoom before, so.
You should receive some sort of a notification that you press.
Okay.
Mariela, can you give us a breakout room, please?
Eloy, who did you want in that?
Breakout room with Mrs. Steele.
The Motorola Moto
Motorola.
5G.
Eloy, do you have the breakout tablet?
I have the breakout room tablet, yeah.
Connected? Very well. Back. We were just discussing you. Oh, I'm here and then had to look and see what time you're actually trying to get back on time. What may happen if Mr. Kennington appears via Zoom, we have the ability to create a breakout room. We'll give you a tablet so you can discuss with him. Sometimes we'll appear in person if he's in, depending on what route he's running.
Did she not come?
Judge, are we done with the breakout rooms or do we need another one?
Not yet.
Is she still logged in? At Motorola?
I don't see her.
She fell off, but she's getting back on now.
Your Honor,
Yes,
the state's gonna be dismissing the
let me get back on the
count
record.
two.
Sorry. We are back on the record in 2009 TR 475. I'm sorry, Mr. Gagos, go ahead.
The state will be dismissing count two, the driver while suspended, and that'll leave her with having to just fulfill her obligations with count one, the speeding. And she could do that with a clerk. I advised her that she needs to reach out to the clerks to make that payment and get that done. The state will be asking that the court withdraw the warrant to get that taken care of, Your Honor.
Any agreement as to when the warrant is recalled? Is that after the speeding is paid or is it irrelevant?
It's irrelevant now. It would now then be a,
Ms. Thiel, you heard what the county attorney had to say, correct?
Yes, correct.
Are you in agreement?
Yes, I am.
Very well, then the court will order the warrant in 2009 TR 475 recalled. Also, the county attorney made an oral motion to dismiss count two, driving while suspended. That count will be dismissed. And per the agreement, you should contact the clerk of the court about your speeding ticket and get that resolved.
and that phone
Okay.
number. That
Yeah.
phone number is 620-271-6254.
Okay.
6254.
6254 620-271-6254, right? Mhm.
Yes.
Okay.
You have any questions, Ms. Thiel?
Nope. Nope. I think that covers it. Thank you so much.
Mr. Gagos, do you have anything further?
I suggest, Ms. Theo, you call them right now just to get a date.
I'm going to. I'm going to. And like I said, hopefully I'll get it paid this Thursday. If not, it'll be 2 weeks. But thank you so much for your consideration. I appreciate it.
If
Thank
nothing
you.
further, we are adjourned. Thank you for your appearances.
Yep. Have a great day.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Okay.
Ms. Theo, you can turn off or close Zoom if you like.
I'm sorry, Ela, what did you say?
I don't think that Ms. Theo knows how to turn off the Zoom.
Oh, I'll get her off then.
Go for it, Your Honor.
Mr. Madrano, can you hear me? Mr. Madrano, can you hear me?
Hour late.
No, he's been.
He was on earlier,
Oh,
he
okay.
said. Mr. Madrano, can you hear me?
You're muted, Mr. Medrano. Unmute.
Oh, there you can. Sorry about that.
Okay. Mr. Madrano, I received your application for a court-appointed attorney. I have appointed Shane Ludke out of Garden City to represent you.
Okay,
And what we'll do is schedule a future date, October 17th,
At 10:30
10:30,
or
Okay.
10:15.
10:15 will work. We will set this out to October 17th at 10:15 a.m. Mr. Ludke will be here on another matter at about that time. I would tell you to contact him in the future, but not for a couple of days. It will take that long for the paperwork to get to him.
okay.
And then he can assist you with your endeavor. So write that date down if you need to.
And you said October 17th?
Right, at 10:15 a.m. And normally I would have a contact number for you. Can you write that down?
Yes.
Mr. Ludke's phone number is 620-276-2381.
Okay,
And again, give him a couple of days to figure out he's been appointed, and then you should be able to reach him and be able to talk intelligently about your case.
okay. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Kennington, batter up.
In chat, Mr. Kennington. This is Mr. Humphreys. Let me pull him up.
Back to today's date. This is some housekeeping. This is Kearny County District Court 2023 TR 183 on September the 12th, 2023. State of Kansas versus Jesse Drew Humphreys. Mr. Humphreys is here in person with attorney Robert Kennington. State appears by Eloy Gallegos. First appearance for Mr. Kennington as Mr. Humphreys' attorney. We're going off the record while attorneys consult. Now we're caught up. How long ago? He the one that was killed? They had one in the 20s that was shot and killed, and I that name's vaguely familiar, and it might be from the history of. Okay. Of course, there were a lot of sheriffs between, the 1920s and then the years I was familiar with them. Okay. Okay. I do not. I have no clue. You're back on the record in 2023 TR 183. Very well. Outside at first. Library or something? Yeah, I caught the. So much for staying. That's what drives me up the wall about Zoom, and some of the people that are driving while they're. Statute about having a television visible.
Is there a statute against that?
That, I don't know that I don't know if anybody's ever written it, but I think it was designed for back in the day, like motorhome. Our lives and running over their days of their lives.
Because there's a hack, there's a certain hack you could do with your. Where you could put your screen.
Well, I have it, when I plug into my car, it pulls up my Google Maps and projects it on, because the car doesn't have navigation, so we use the phone. That's all I think that's all it'll do, but I haven't gotten, I'm not a techno nerd enough. I don't know, I might be able to launch the missiles from Cheyenne Mountain through that car. I don't know. I don't mess with it. Don't think you can give full-time.
Phones all the time. You know,
Quantity doesn't make it right.
yeah, no, I know. Because after that, it's just. Okay.
Right, Mr. Gagos, what are we doing today?
Honor, yes, there is a plea deal or a offer and an acceptance here. My understanding is a pay and dismiss for this case. He's gonna pay off $108 for court cost, $300 for nonprofit fee. In exchange for that, give him a month to pay for it to be dismissed, and then a date certain here in about a month. We'll come back. Yes, I would ask if it's been paid, he doesn't have to come back, but if not, then me.
October 17th work for the pay and dismiss deadline date, or
Or the 31st. 31st or the 17th, it just has to be done before that date.
31st afternoon.
Clock work for you?
Very well,
So
then.
if it's not done before that date, you guys have to appear. And that,
Then rather than reiterate what you just told me, it may become a moot point. So we will just reschedule this for a status conference on October 31st at 1 PM if necessary. Does that work for both parties?
Profit fee.
Anything further from either party?
Oh, Your Honor.
Very well, we are adjourned until October 31st, 2023 at 1 PM if necessary. Thank you for your appearances.
here, hold on, let me write it down. You'll go downstairs to my office downstairs. I'll have to do a journal entry for them. I have to go to my office downstairs. Goes to my office.
Anything further today, Mr. Kennington?
No, that's all.
Well, you're free to hang out with us if you want. or-
Okay.
We're here till 4:30, maybe count that today.
Actually, we've got an appearance with Mr. Cott. I don't know what we're doing. We've got a waiver of prelim and arraignment on a felony. And then a couple of these, I think, are like first or second appearances, but one of them, I guess it wouldn't be a first appearance. He appeared but said he'd hired an attorney. Tough. Some of them are our kids that had no driver's license that we're scheduling after school to make. Third of the way, this week will be a third of the way through the football season, so. I told somebody on a hearing yesterday that scheduled out certain days. I said, well, we're getting to Thanksgiving and the holiday season and everybody.
I remember time used to go so slow.
When I had kids at home, I always said, the worst day of summer is July 4th because it seems like you hit the 4th and that next day it's a downhill slide and school starts. I mean, just like that. I was like Memorial Day because that's a holiday and you got the whole summer ahead of you.
Don't have anything till 1:15.
No, I need to ask you about a 9 AM that had no appearance.
I think I know what you're talking about. Hey, you have the best day. That lady, we've called her, we've informed her, if she doesn't want to do what she wants to do. Put like a $500.
Evelyn Aparicio. Have the local sheriff's office run that person and see if they're showing valid IP. Or you could walk across to Jennifer or Tracy, they could probably verify. And we don't have to do anything with this till end of day. Here it is, we're done with the morning. We still have 9 to go.
Are these all those kids that we followed on?
No?
No, they're not, right? I thought they were, so I thought we were gonna be done.
Got the Mandarin speaker. Have you talked to Mr. Ludke at all? He's on here 2 or 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. Afternoon.